Morning. On behalf of our team at RDIC, we would like to welcome Jay Helty. He is here this morning to discuss the type of work that they do there, the training they receive, characteristics they're looking for in a candidate, career opportunities, salary expectations, and the working conditions. Just a reminder before we begin that after you watch this presentation, please complete the survey found on our webpage, either by using the QR code or going to our website at www.rdic.ca. By completing this survey, you're automatically entered to win a $50 gift card, which will be drawn for at the end of every month. So thanks again, Jay, for this informative presentation to help students in their quest to make a better choice about their future employment opportunities. Take it away, Jay.
Hello, my name is Jay Hilchey. I'll get into the slides and stuff right away, but I was approached by Doug to get into talking to students about, again, he introduced me about opportunities in agriculture. So I'll just kind of take it away. And at the end, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. So opportunities in agriculture. I'll start off with a brief introduction of myself. My name is Jay Hilchey. I'm the production coordinator at Seedmaster. For over 8 years, I have been employed at Seedmaster. I've been a part of tremendous growth in technology as well as agriculture industry as a whole. We have launched new and innovative conventional seeders and also autonomous seeding technology that we call DOT. These innovations have brought change to what was once referred to as simple technology and brought farming into the 21st century. With change comes opportunity, which is what I would like to discuss with you guys today. So a brief shameless plug, Seedmaster overview. Here at Seedmaster, we employ a large variety of skill sets. Our manufacturing staff consists of welders, painters, laser, and saw operators, as well as people that transport product, and a maintenance staff to keep us running. All of these jobs require an attention to detail and an ability to follow directions. We also have staff that assembles our machine in-house, which the assembly process exposes staff to hydraulic functions as well as electronic schematics to assist in the understanding of our overall goal, which is to provide the customer with the most advanced and reliable farm seeding equipment in the market. Another thing that kind of really revolutionized what we're doing here, and again, I could talk about Seedmaster all day and things that we've done, but for this one, I want to talk about how to get you guys into the jobs. But this one is the introduction of the dual knife opener. Farmers no longer have to till the ground between harvests, which is allowing farmers to take advantage of nutrients in the ground from previous years, which is the whole name of the game is that as input costs rise, you want to be able to put less into the ground and get more back. That's the whole name of the game, but it all boils down to it. So reasons to get involved in the trade. I have been lucky enough to have worked in manufacturing for most of my adult life. I've experienced firsthand the benefits of it. Don't think that you need to go to university in order to be successful. Success is measured in many ways, and some of the reasons are, it's a real sense of accomplishment working on new projects and seeing them in action feels good and is something to be proud of. Job security. Working with your hands will always be a skill that people will pay for. Even as machines become more popular, someone has to service them. Physical and mental well-being. Working in manufacturing world is tough work, but can have the added benefit of keeping you in shape. Believe me, I know as I grow into an office job, it's harder and harder to keep the pounds off. Friendship. I have met some of the best friends of my life through work, and there's a real sense of camaraderie within a workplace. At least there is at Seedmaster. And last but not least, financial. You can make a good living working in the trade industry. Typically, most jobs in manufacturing start around 18 bucks an hour and have the potential to be around 40 an hour. You can also get into trades that do a lot of traveling around the country where you could make over 150,000 a year. These high paid jobs usually come with a price on family and friends, and living the life on the road isn't for everybody. There's also a few of the truly stubborn that will get into starting their own business where the sky's the limit, but usually is an intense grind for the first 10 years or so before turning real profits. Anybody that started a business knows that you gotta learn quick on the fly, and it's a tough go. But like I said, the sky can be the limits. So get into job opportunities within the market. And like I said, there's many that fall in between, just not just trades, but there's many jobs in between. So as mentioned before, there are many different types of jobs in the agriculture industry. I haven't even begun to talk about office jobs that are part of the success of our team. For this discussion, though, I'll focus on just manufacturing of Seedmaster because that's the part that I'm mostly responsible for. The first thing when you look at a resume is the experience that you bring to the table. And I know what you're thinking. How do I get into manufacturing with no experience? Well, there's a few things that you can go to, and they all kind of have the same elements of success. So the two ways that I found most successful are, make sure that your resume looks professional. Usually when you go through a hiring process, we will receive hundreds of emails and letter resumes. And if there's ones that look sloppy, you don't get a second look. So making sure that your resume looks professional, even with not even scanning through it, just a quick glance. If it doesn't look right, it doesn't get a second look. Then you need to describe what type of work that you have done, even if it's work that you've done with a relative, because some of the jobs you're applying for are entry level and not necessarily looking for someone with a lot of experience. Be willing to do the little jobs. If you think that you're gonna, with no training and no experience, you're gonna start at the top, you're wrong. And hand out a lot of resumes to companies you think you'd like to work for, and look for ones that say "will train in-house." That's how you can get your foot in the door and bounce around from jobs to jobs. So just cast a large net and apply to all of them. And you're not going to get, if you hand out 10 resumes, you're not going to get 10 phone calls back. So be prepared for that. And the second way to do it is go through schools. Going through trade schools and stuff like that is beneficial because you can use your trades as your experience. So take advantage of trade schooling as early as you can. If there are classes that are available in high school or even elementary school, try them out and see which classes really interest you. Being passionate about what you do is something that it goes a long way. When you care about something, it shows. So enroll in trade schools. Don't be afraid to switch what trade you get involved with. Trades cover a large variety of skills, and it's important to have passion in what you do. Again, it's important. It shows when you care about something. Use your schooling as experience. This will allow you to apply for jobs that are not entry level and typically will come with a higher salary off the beginning. If you graduate trade school, try and stay within your field when you're looking for a job. It's why you went to school in the first place. Hand out a lot of resumes to employers. Not all employers are happy with just seeing a certificate. They want some experience too. So it's kind of a give and take. How do you get experience with other stuff? Again, just apply, get your name out there. So again, once you get the call back, the next thing is the interview, and it's important. I'll get into the interview parts now. So now that you send out resumes more than you can remember, you finally get a call back for an interview. There's a few things you should always do. Be presentable. You don't need to be in your Sunday best, but maybe leave the sweatpants at home. We've come in there, first impressions is big. So again, be presentable. Be on time. Nothing will leave a bad taste in an employer's mouth more than someone who's late to an interview. There's lots of things going on when you're doing processes and stuff like that. You're getting hundreds and hundreds of candidates coming through the door, and you got to keep a schedule. So if you're late, it instantly puts a bad taste in your mouth. So be on time, and try to be yourself. Interviews can be intimidating, but the more that you do, the less intimidated you get. But try to be yourself. I've said many times that your resume gets you the interview, but the interview gets you the job. I've done hundreds of interviews, and usually we'll start off by asking a few traditional questions about experience. And then for the most part, I just try to have a conversation with somebody. I want to be able to see if I can work with them. and I want to be able to see if they're a good fit for our team, because I know who's in the back, and I'm trying to gauge whether you'd be a good fit for our staff. So once you've nailed the interview, now you're on to the job. So what's expected into the first couple months? So what's expected of you? You've made the cut, you got the job. Now what? Most companies will put you on a 3-month probation before officially welcoming you to the team. Things they're looking for is punctuality, work ethic, friendliness, and consistency and craftsmanship. So if you're all over the place with any of these things, it's looking for. They may always be standing over your shoulder, but definitely I'm looking for these 3 things. And you can tell right away if the team's kind of welcoming you, you can see it right away. So really the employer is looking for a confirmation of what was on the resume, as well as what they saw in the interview. An employee with a great attitude and a strong work ethic can be taught anything, regardless of schooling. The employer will notice, trust me. It might seem like it takes a long time, but hard work always pays off. And a few things to help advance your career once you get going. Again, getting into the manufacturing business, don't feel like it could be dead end. Like if you're getting into a job where it can be repetitive at times, don't get me wrong, but there is lots of opportunities within manufacturing to expand, and there's no one size fits all for that answer, but there's a few things that you can do to help get yourself recognized, get yourself into the light of getting into managers and getting into team leads and all those types of things. Anywhere you go, it kind of translates all the way through. But a few things are: have a positive attitude. Nobody likes working with somebody who never has anything good to say. Volunteer for overtime or committees that may be available. Like there might be a social committee, safety committees, and whenever time there's overtime and you can work those shifts and help get a job done that may be on a crunch, those types of things get noticed. Don't be afraid to make your suggestions heard. A good idea is a good idea, no matter if it's from a new employee or a long-term employee. Collaborate with different departments in the company and show that you're a valuable member of the team. Again, this is as you're going through, you're into that 1 year, 2 year stuff. You've been in a place for a while, Seedmaster, any place that is part of manufacturing, you notice. My job is to notice potential and to encourage it. So then be patient is another one. This one's probably the hardest, because as you're starting your career, you're usually starting your adulthood, which means you're looking to buy house, cars, travel, start families. So salary becomes a focal point in your life. So a few things to do. You can't just start off at the top, and the more you get into it, the more obviously you're going to want to make. But there's a few things to do about that. You can bring solutions to your supervisors when there's some problems, and you can show that you have the ability to solve them. It stands out. Everybody has problems. There's always things that aren't going quite right, but the ability to solve those problems and come with the solution to your manager is beneficial. Try to get involved in the hiring and firing process. This will open up managerial doors for you. Probably one of the hardest parts of my job is hiring and firing. Nobody likes to fire anybody, and hiring going through that process can be demanding sometimes. And don't be afraid sometimes to ask for a raise. Be careful not to get into ultimatums though. This or else. Sometimes there's a lot going on financially within a company, and having negotiating skills is never a bad thing. So to all the young kids out there, go out there and change the world. I want to leave a little positive note for that, because really farming and manufacturing can get you into some big projects real fast, and it's the future. So having the right attitude and all that kind of stuff can get out there, and you can really make a difference. if you put your best foot forward. And that was it. I'll have questions on Q&A if anybody has any questions to ask me.
Thanks so much, Jay. That was awesome. We truly appreciate the sequential order that you went through, explaining that whole process from start to finish. And what I think was different with this video that we're taping now is you're really talking to that high school student that's coming out maybe with no experience, but your company is willing to maybe take them on and train them, which is really nice, and for students to be aware that there are companies like yours. I think there are some questions here. Maybe tell a little bit about some of the projects that Seedmaster is working on, and maybe specifically about DOT. I'm aware of it, but it's kind of a new concept that farming really is moving into that 21st century and the driverless driver type of thing. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Like when I was talking with Doug, like I could sit here and I could talk with everybody for hours about kind of the things that we've been involved with, but DOT basically is taking autonomy and putting it on the farm. So what that means is that right now we're in kind of the fledgling stages. So that's going from having, you guys have seen the commercials, even those lawnmowers that'll go cut your lawn and stuff like that, right? This is kind of that same idea, but in a bigger, broader agricultural capacity. So again, it was very, very humbling to be a part of, because things move so fast from being just like sketches to being, you're seeing these machines out on the field. And anyways, what DOT is that it's an autonomous platform. It's a U shape that will go around and it'll pick up different implements. You can go from a seeder to a sprayer to a roller. We had a whole bunch of things in there, and it uses the GPS signal to kind of map out your farm. So really, you could be in your house and you could be doing all your farming. If you had a few of these things on your farm, you could basically run most of your farming stuff from your living room, which is what is the ultimate goal. We're probably a few years away from getting that to be an actuality, but it's the fledgling part of it is DOT, and it's blossom into lots of things that we've learned into our own, just our regular seeding equipment, but it's also been quite the experience to be a part of. Again, hydraulics, engineering, welding. There's a lot of things that we all had to learn quick on the fly. So it's been quite the experience.
Thank you for that explanation. I think it just shows that agriculture really is moving forward too when it comes to technology and what can be accomplished these days too. So questions?
Where do you see high demand for your business as far as jobs that will be opening or will be in demand moving ahead? Welders, project engineers, what kind of areas would you recommend?
This is kind of the great thing about it, is that with the expansion of farming not being quite, you're dragging something in the dirt and it's getting into more technical things. Farming is turning into job creation for everybody. It can be as simple as you taking parts and moving it to another place, to engineering, designing, and everything in between. Where do I think the demand's going to be? All of them, to be honest. I think farming and agricultural stuff kind of incorporates everything. My main focus is going to obviously be welders and painters and machinists and things of that nature that are working with machines to produce parts. But within like the entire company, it's going to be everybody: design, engineers. It's going to be people that to work the phones, right? Because you have to have service supply and all that kind of stuff. Everything just gets bigger and more technical. So having a broad range of skills is key. And that's why I wanted to emphasize what everybody, just getting your foot in the door, because you're going to come in, you're not going to know much, but you can learn everything. And the agricultural industry is starting to incorporate all aspects of manufacturing.
Thanks, Jay. When it comes to Seedmaster, you guys ship to how many different countries now? You're not just
Well, we're definitely worldwide. Australia is a big market. The States, obviously, Canada, all across Canada. We've had things in Kazakhstan. Europe is a tricky market to get into because they have different restrictions as far as width. Obviously, if you look around, you can see in Saskatchewan for 24 kilometers, they don't have that necessarily in Europe. So there's different restrictions there, and Australia's the same thing. It's big, huge, wide open land. So we make big equipment for our big farms, but Europe does the same thing, but they're a little bit more nuanced in how they approach things. So Europe is coming, but it's a little bit different.
I know one of the things that maybe took a hit with, in your industry, being part of it myself, is, you couldn't host the, the farm progress shows or be part of the farm progress shows and Agribition. And that's where you display your products, right? And I know that countries literally come to these functions in these things in our province right now too. So hopefully within the next year or so, that will come back again, the Ag in Motion and, some of those sites that farmers love attending because they get to see your products, right?
Oh, for sure. There's talking about stuff and showing pictures only does so much service. Everybody still likes to go out there and kick tires, especially when you're making these pieces of equipment aren't cheap either. So when you're putting that kind of investment in things, everybody likes to kick at it and, poke around. And so definitely those shows are definitely a benefit for us too, as well, as far as selling points as well.
Awesome. Thank you, Jay, for that.
Mhm.
Okay, thanks again, Jay, for this insightful presentation and on a successful homegrown company. So thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you.